And yeah, there we go. We are live. Welcome to another edition of Untitled. I'm your host, R. Jones. I also serve as moderator. And joining me, as always, the man formerly from the BX, now residing in the Carolinas, Dominic Donardo. How are you doing, sir? Thanks for joining us tonight.
All good, R. Let's roll.
All good. And, of course, also joining my man in PA, Gotham City. The Batman himself, a.k.a. the Batman. Sir Ronan Black is here. How you doing, brother?
I'm all right, man. Just chilling.
All right. Before we get started, I got to start doing this. Get these algorithms going. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to do that one more time. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. We would appreciate that. Get this journey going to thousands of followers, thousands of viewers. Let's get it going. We're going to get it popping this year for sure. With that being said, let's get into the show, shall we? The first thing on the docket, we got much ado is made about this. RG3, as Robert Griffin Jr. or Robert Griffin III. Damn, I can't even say. Robert Griffin III going against Ryan Clark, both of different sports platforms. One's on ESPN, the other's on Fox Sports. There was a little bit of a public tussle between these two over Caitlin Clark and also Angel Reese and whatnot. And what this was about was during a game, Caitlin Clark fouled Angel Reese, and Miss Reese thought it was a hard foul, got up, said a few things or whatnot to Caitlin. The problem that kind of came from that was RG3 had said that Angel Reese did not actually hated Caitlin Clark. And, of course, Ryan Clark took exception with that, going a little above and beyond personal-wise, talking about how RG3 and his white wife, that he wouldn't understand the trials and tribulations of a black woman, a black sports athlete, so to speak. Man, I don't even know where to begin with this. Is Robert wrong? Is he wrong in this? I mean, man, it's tough because that's kind of a hard shot to me, guys. And so to me, and I'm not a big fan of Ryan Clark like that, but he responded. And did he respond correctly? He just might have. He might have a point. I'll look at it like that. I'll just say that for now, and I'll go back to this back and forth. You know how we do here on Untitled. So, Dom, what do you think about this?
He crossed the line. I always say this, guys, and don't take
now.
This the wrong
who crossed the line? Ryan Clark or RG3?
Yeah, Ryan Clark.
Okay.
Because I always say if we flip it around and RG3 says something about his wife, then it becomes a race issue. Like Ryan's. The first thing is, why does this woman feel so compelled to be like some spotlight? And she pushed Caitlin Clark's teammate. Caitlin Clark replied with a hard foul. That's basketball, I thought.
Yes.
But it seems anything involving Caitlin Clark is more than basketball. So is it jealousy? I don't know. I still, because you know what's funny, it was only a year ago before this young lady came to the WNBA. We were like, man, they should fold the tent. This shit ain't nothing but a money grab that's losing money every year.
Right.
But here we are, still a year, 2 years in now, we're still, doing this.
Yeah, still doing it.
Look at the size of this guy's head. Oh my God.
Let me bring these guys in. First of all, he turned his camera off at that point. Yeah. That's like, show your head, brother. Show your head. It's all good.
Man, listen. I'm gonna show up in a hot minute. I gotta get that pace of funk off of brother, man. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get that off. You know what I'm saying?
What up,
Live is in the house as well, and Shamik is here as well. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us tonight on Untitled. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Everybody good?
Where did Craig go? Come on, Craig, show your face.
He's still there. He ain't going nowhere yet. He's still there. There you go.
So I'm gonna come back.
My brother.
There you go.
I'm here though.
I just got off the phone with this guy, man.
Oh, okay. It's all good. It's all good. Gentlemen, so again, let me see if my brother Rona, is your mic still? Yeah, his mic is still on. Good, that's good.
Yeah,
Glad
that's
you ain't
all.
mute yourself. Okay, glad you ain't mute yourself. What do you think about this whole situation with RG3 and Ryan Clark?
First of all, the whole thing is overblown about the foul and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. You see that stuff happens all the time. As far as RG3, I don't mess with dudes like RG3.
Mm.
On a level of 1 to 10 on my meter, it's a 1.
Mm-hmm.
RG3 is a clown. He always been a clown. Ryan Clark responded. Somewhere Angel Reese and Clayton Clark after the game probably had a drink. Hey, we just brought some press for ourselves.
Probably
In the story.
because, bro, because from what I understand, after Mitch Reese was fired up on the court about that foul, and to me it was a normal foul. It shit happens. It is what it is. You understand? There's nothing, truly malicious about it. It was it was a hard foul, but it was a legal foul. It was nothing technical about. No, not at all. But the thing is, though, even after the game, she dialed back some of her commentary. She dialed back on her feelings about it. You understand? She didn't want to even address it for the most part. So again, much ado about nothing. But again, it's a whole big firestorm because these two individuals. You know what I'm saying? And that's really about it.
Let me just say one last thing, real quick, like RG3. So he's no different. If he's going down that path, then what makes him any different than Jason Whitlock, who is a card carrying bootleg?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say just a bootleg. So what? I mean, come on. So we met. You know how I get down. You know where it lies at. It starts with Malcolm, ends with John Henry Clark, ends Wilson. So I don't care about RG3.
Right.
Like I care about him about as much as I care about the Philadelphia Eagles. And I don't care about them either. So
I hear you. I guess you ain't gonna be talking about
like I
that next
said, nah, man. I mean, come on. Look, I don't have a look, man.
Yeah, bro.
These media, they're searching for things, man. He didn't even wait. So she walked back. You said she walked back to stuff that she said. So he couldn't even let that go. So he goes all in. What do you think is going to happen? Because Ryan Clark stands on where where he is, as far as what his belief system is, where he stands at. RG3 is where he's at. So what do you think is going to happen?
Right.
So
well, I don't
RG3, go hang out with Jason Whitlock. Whatever, man.
I hear you. I don't even think they Clark liked them anyway from jump. To be perfectly honest, calling him a horrible teammate back in 2014 and when they played together in 2014 and whatnot. And it's like a long storied history between these. I really believe it's like.
Why would you bring his wife into it?
I agree. That's
my only problem with it. Why you bring his wife into it? Y'all are two grown ass men. First of all, what y'all are doing is petty. But then again, this is what we're getting now in the sports world and the media. We're getting pettiness. If I don't like you, I'll throw a slur, but don't throw one back. This is where we're at. It's shock therapy. They do this shit all the time. And there's no end to it. It's petty as hell if you ask me. But there's that line, like me and y'all could get in an argument all the time. I argue with Bishop all the time. I've met his wife. I would never bring his wife into our argument.
No.
Never.
No. Yeah, he crossed the line with that one.
Yeah, it was petty, man. It's fucking like 10-year-olds.
Right. Just so I'm clear on that, who brought whose wife into it?
Ryan Clark brought RG3's wife into it.
Okay, right.
His wife is white.
Right. So I wasn't up to that part. I was up to where RG3 besmirched Caitlin Clark. I mean not Caitlin Clark. Sorry, Angel Reese.
Right.
So and I was kind of versed up to that point.
Okay.
Right. So I would love to. And the play is racism plus classism, right? So I'm going to use all of the racial undertones and everything to propagate my platform, right? Because I'm only looking for money. I'm only looking for notoriety. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else just mentioned, like I might as well put my stuff in the same league as Whitlock. You understand what I'm saying? So It's sad because but you know what I'm saying, and the reason why I say that is because you're not even considering what that does to Caitlin Clark as a black woman, right? And this is why it's racial and then monetary, because again, you're not talking about sports, right? Even in your criticism of her, you the undertones is still that Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese bullshit, which like Reese dead, like Caitlin Clark should have deaded what her and her comments and her stance should have deaded all of that. But again, RG3 played the undertones of what the nation feels, right? To propagate his message, and which was, again, I think Dom said it best, that the shit that happened was some sports shit. It was nothing to talk about. It was a hard foul. Somebody else fouled somebody. That's how we do it. Nobody talked about when PJ Tucker stood over the little German guy, when the little German guy stood over Brunson. Nobody talk about that.
Right.
Where was the news? And because it was Caitlin Clark, and because Caitlin Clark gave a hard foul to Reese, that's sports. Leave that shit alone. Now you bring in that, and then you bring in your wife in. That's classism. That's me trying to get money with sensationalism. You understand what I'm saying? So now you got us talking about it, right? And again, because we smart, we socially conscious, brothers on here. We talking about it not in the way you want it. Like it's not gossip. It's you're a fool for doing it, for stooping that low. Like RG3 stooping that low to criticize something and keep that racial narrative going. Ryan Clark for bringing a motherfucker wife into it, right? And that, because now it's sensationalism. Now it's drama.
Right.
Why we got to get caught up in drama?
That's what they want.
Like, that's bad. Like anything that we got to be fighting, and we got to be yakking at you, like be devilish with each other. That's bad business, man.
Right. Let me take this time to also bring into the room Steve. What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Man, I just wanted to say hello. I just wanted to say hello. I had no idea what the fuck y'all talking about. I had no idea what the hell. I see the topic, but I don't have a clue of the context of the topic.
Okay.
I just wanted to pop in because Don, I saw the link circulating. I just want to support you, R. Jones.
I appreciate you.
That's it's really nothing more than that. I got to step out in a few. I'm going out a little bit, and I guess I'll catch the playback on the other topic. I just wanted to say what up to brothers. It was really nothing more than that. You know what I mean? So that's this first topic about RG3. I'm gonna have to go Google it and see what the fuck y'all talking about. Man.
All right,
it doesn't seem like it's not related to a game, a hockey game, a basketball game, or a playoff game, or a baseball game. Like,
well,
all
a
the stuff in
WNBA
between,
game.
I have no idea, because I think all that stuff is just junk in between the news cycle. No, for real. Like, I don't have the time to catch up on that bullshit. So I have no idea what the fuck y'all talking about, man.
Thanks for being real.
Or when Dom sends restaurant recommendations, I'm down for that shit too.
All right, with that being said,
there's a couple things.
Oh, okay. Before you get started, Shmi, let me just say, bring in the bishop as well. Welcome to the show, sir. Thanks for joining us, and I'm gonna go back to Shamik when you give your greeting, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop though. I'm gonna catch the playback and I'll holler at you guys, man.
Steve.
Say what up,
Thanks, Steve.
Steve.
All right, kid.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
What's up, fella?
Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So the whole RG3 Ryan Clark thing, I think it's hilarious.
Who background?
I think that's probably Bishop's. Your background? You got background back there, babe?
Yeah. I got theme music, so don't worry about it. It's a little theme music.
Stupid, man.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
I get
it's a dramatic pause, and now I'm going in. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so what I was saying was the whole RG3 Ryan Clark thing. Because RG3 came out of left field with what he said, and then Ryan Clark went further left field with what he said.
right.
And it was fucking funny to me, because it's like RG3, I do like RG3 because his commentary is always like really entertaining. Like, because he mainly keeps it real. But it was like, dude, like, what does that have to do with anything? This was a basketball play. Caitlin Clark is probably trying to get some get back because they roughed her up a whole rookie year. She got roughed up. So now it's like, okay, well now I get to do something roughing up. And he turned it into something else. So Ryan Clark spaced him. And he's like, no, dude. Like, what do you care about this black and white issue? Like, because pretty much, it's not like you go home and talk to your wife about the plight of a black woman in America. Like, so
right.
So what's your point? And then everybody got on Ryan Clark, and Ryan Clark is a jerk. I get it, but that shit was funny. That shit was funny to me because I was like, yo, you know something? He got a point there. He got a point.
Right.
That's like when Hubert Davis, when they were getting on Hubert Davis' case, talking about his recruits and so forth and so on. And then he brought his wife in because his wife is white. He was like, that's it. Like, talking about, yo, I love my wife. It's like, dude, what does that have to do with what they talking about? It's like, what does that have to do with what they talking about? It's like, you missed the assignment. Like, you talking about something else now. So, I left it at that because it's like, you know what? The whole thing, like, it's funny that you would, to me, it's funny that you would talk about two black males talking about like racial implications. That's hilarious to me. So,
Okay.
but,
Okay.
Ryan
So
Clark
should
is a
we?
joke, though.
Yeah, so a
Yes,
couple
sir.
things. First of all, a couple things. Let's bring some clarity in here. First of all, the media made it a racial issue when Caitlin Clark was in Iowa and Reese was in LSU or wherever she was at. That's first off. Let's start there. Right. Second off, I'm a black man. Angel Reese shouldn't even be in the same gym as Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, this ain't Larry Bird magic. I don't care how many rebounds she got, the little double-double. She's getting 11 and 10 and all that. They are nowhere near in the same universe in terms of basketball skills, passing, shooting, jumping, dribbling, rebounding.
Nothing.
They're not even close. So they made this a racial thing. Let's start there. Second of all, Angel Reese gave the hard foul first. Caitlin Clark did what she was supposed to do. That foul wasn't hard. They're exaggerating it. That was a regular basketball play. And what they're referring to is the fact that Angel Reese got mad on some how dare you even do that to me when she does it all game because that's her. She's a Dennis Rodman. She ain't no Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. She's not that good.
Right.
Like let's just say the elephant in the room. So RG3 had a very valid point because I felt the same way when I saw it. So he made that point, and that was fine. He can make that point. Clark went and said, like, he's making it more of a racial issue by saying, because he alluded, he didn't bring his wife up particular. He alluded to the fact that he goes home to a white woman as if she's just blind to how women, period, forget black and white, get treated, and she can have an opinion on what's going on, just like I can have an opinion on white culture even though I'm not white, or Asian culture even though I'm not Asian. Like, that's utterly ridiculous. And you usually bow that low when you have no content or context and you have to do that kind of stuff because you have nothing else to fall back on but insults and slurs and stupidness. Like, that was just unprofessional. But I don't care if Clark is
RG3.
So
RG3 made the conversation.
RG3 made a comment, and if we go back and play his comment about what he said, Angel Reese is jealous of Caitlin Clark. I'm a black man saying that she hates her because she thought she deserved more than she does. She's not good. She thought she could have been in the MVP race. She shouldn't have. Caitlin Clark changed the dynamic of the NBA. Like I said, it ain't Magic Bird where they both came in and they tried to make that racial.
Sure, but I'm saying,
they were doing
right.
it. Was
I hope Angel Reese ain't think she was supposed to be in no player of the year.
Hold on. Try not to talk over each other, please.
Yeah, so Angel Reese, like a lot of black WNBA players, are resentful of Caitlin Clark. That's just a fact. That's just a fact.
What you're saying is you're making a statement based on how somebody else might feel. And what I'm saying to you is we don't know that for sure. So again, there's two different positions that they play, two different mindsets. Caitlin Clark is the new kid on the block. Angel Reese has been groomed for where she is right now. Like her mother played basketball, professional basketball. So Angel Reese is not just some fly by night. She's been groomed for the role. Like
I think you're making the assumption that I haven't spoken to people, which would be wrong. I've already been on here talking about the people I know in the NBA and WNBA.
But I'm saying, did you speak to Angel Reese?
Hold on one second, because I let you talk and you cut me off. So you're making the assumption, which is wrong, that I don't speak to people. I know people in WNBA, the NBA, everywhere. Angel Reese and black players in WNBA are resentful of Caitlin Clark because she's white and she's getting a lot of attention. That is a fact. And yes, I've spoken to people, so I'm not basing it on what I think. I'm telling you what I know. It's a fact. And it comes out every time she's on the court. It came out last year, and they were bullying her and throwing her all over the place every game that she had, and she was still getting 20, 10, and 10. So they're just flat out resentful of her. And in no instance should a man bring up another man's wife unless he's ready to kill someone or die. What Clark said
I
was
agree
totally
with that.
wrong. You
I agree with that.
Wife, you bring up a man's wife, you bring up my wife. I'm not married, but if you did, I'm going in your mouth. That's unprofessional. First of all, he should be fired for being unprofessional, regardless of his take. You don't bring up that man's wife and the fact that he decided to marry who he decided to marry. That's his business. You don't bring that stuff, because if somebody goes and breaks down his son and brings up personal stuff in his son's life who got a D1, he gonna feel some kind of way.
Yeah, but you don't know the dynamic of the relationship or the adversarial relationship that Ryan Clark and RG3 got.
You still don't know the dynamic. You don't bring that to TV. That's personal. That's the difference between being a man what I was saying, and a little juvenile. The point that I was trying to make, and I'm not trying to belittle what you're saying. What I'm saying is, unless we hear it directly from Angel Reese or directly from Caitlin Clark, what we're going off is third-hand knowledge. And I gotta tell you, I'm not so reliant on hearing it from a third party. I'm not so reliant. Now, I'm not saying that you didn't hear what you heard, but unless we
ain't that
who on here disagrees with the fact that there's resentment towards Caitlin Clark?
But we saw this all year, guys.
Last year we saw.
Yeah, whether we heard it or from the horse's mouth or the horse's son, we saw what went on. It was on every sports talk show in America. I mean, I'm trying to listen to the starting lineup, and they're bringing up prime example, Cheryl Swoops, one time the face of the WNBA. Even she had something to say.
Yep.
You know, it just became a little. Again, I always say this, guys, and I don't say it as a white person on the other side of the aisle. I always go back to what would it be if Angel Reese was the face of the WNBA and she took this kind of backlash? What would we be saying then? We'd be marching in the streets.
No, what the brother just said transcend racism, though, right? Like if we talking about some real shit, then we talking about somebody a generational player coming in being resented, right? You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep that shit on some basketball shit. Resented a rookie coming in there and banging him in the head for damn near triple-double numbers. You understand what I'm saying? Like double-doubles in passing and scoring. Let's just keep it on some basketball shit.
Right.
We don't like you because you nice. Right. Fuck you, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck out of here.
And can we all agree on one thing?
What's
At
that,
least the WNBA, whether it was drama, whatever, they're reaping the benefits of this young lady.
Right.
We've had plenty of stars come in this league. Cheryl Swoops, Candace Parker, Lisa Leslie. None of them, forgive me for saying this, none of them moved the needle the way the needle is being moved. Right. Now, you got some that'll say, oh, she's white, so now we're bringing the color in again. But no, she could actually play ball.
Right.
If she sucked, guys, trust me, if she sucked, I don't care if she was white, black, or orange, she sucked. Me and Craig had this conversation earlier today about the NBA and the lottery. And, like, you know, if you won 18 games, you sucked. It wasn't about tanking, because Craig brought up a good point, not to change the subject, but it's about money and where you're at. Craig brought up a good point. You think that guy on the end of the bench don't care about playing because he's working for a contract? The New York Giants got the third pick in the NFL draft because they sucked. Let's just keep it there. If this girl sucked, I don't care what color she is. She would not move the needle because it took 27 years to move the needle in the WNBA. Is it a coincidence? I don't know, guys. All I know is the kid could play. That's what I know. She could play because she actually lit up the gym the night this shit happened. I think she had, 22 and 10?
2010 and 10.
Yeah, 2010 and 10. The same night that this incident happened, she still put up a triple-double.
Great.
So one of the things that I don't know if you guys pay attention to it. The thing that was rubbing some of the WNBA players the wrong way was the fact that they've been doing it. They've been there and they've been grinding and they've been holding up the league. And then when she comes in, and all of a sudden they want to market the league and make her the face of the league. And if you think back and you know what the WNBA, this is not anything new. Like Diana Taurasi was doing this her whole career. So it's not like this. We haven't seen this before. It's just that now the WNBA has decided to put a face to it, and some of the black players are resentful that they're putting the face to it when they've been there doing it all.
Can I add something to that? I believe
in the RG3 thing. I think the two of them got some personal stuff going on.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Which is why he stepped outside of himself. That's why he stepped outside of himself and said something about RG3's wife, because it's like, now that's pretty much throwing down the gauntlet. Like I heard somebody in here say, I'm not married, but if you talking about my wife, that changes the nature of our conversation. That's what I think Ryan Clark was doing, and kind of like pretty much telling RG3, like, fuck you. That's what I think that was.
Pretty much.
And he just used the scenario as a way to get that point across.
Right. So, just to add a little to that, I think the Don Taurasi and Lisa Lobo and all of that been happening way before Caitlin Clark. I think the addition of race with Caitlin and Angel Reese gave them double opportunity because they didn't have the national spotlight on Taurasi and all of these people, in the WNBA until Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. That whole college thing blew women's basketball up in another spotlight. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it was so much some diabolical shit. It was like, yo, we need to capitalize off of this.
Right.
This was corporate, right? This corporate 500, Fortune 500 companies ready to capitalize off of the underlying, Trumpisms and all of this that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese thing kind of bubbled up in most of the nation and shit. So,
what did we say for years, guys? A lot of us were on the line. Me, you, Bishop. The WNBA needed a spark. I don't care where they got it from. They needed, because we used to always say, come on, guys, how the hell is women's college basketball ratings off the chart, but the WNBA can't get out their way? Now, Bishop would bring up a good point. I think it was Bishop when he said they're playing on the network Ion.
Right.
He's right. I never heard of it. I never heard of it.
Honestly,
I never heard of that. But my point was that all of our points were, how is it like that in college? And you got a professional league playing in professional arenas, and they can't get 6,000 people in the crowd. They can't get a 1.1 rating on the Richter scale on television. No wonder why they was on Ion. You think ABC, CBS, NBC was going to invest in a 1.1 rating?
No,
it's like the Hurricanes down here, man. Like you wouldn't see the coaches or the players nowhere in the metropolitan area. You come up here and the whole team is in Walmart. As soon as you walk into Walmart, there's a team, bus of the team, entire team in Walmart. So before you come in, so it's crazy down here.
It's like the like here, like he's saying, you look at the Carolina hockey team.
Mm-hmm.
They run this state because you know what? They're the only good team in this state. Whether they're hockey or volleyball. The other
Only
teams
thing
can't
somebody
get out their
behind.
damn way.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is sometimes, but I don't know. It's just like I think Bishop nailed it. These two clowns got something personal going on.
Yep.
And y'all are grown men. That's what's really sad about this. Y'all are two grown ass men making, I'm assuming, a pretty good living. Mm-hmm. We're still doing this. I mean, come on.
But again, it's the vehicles that you choose to elevate your brand. That's the problem. And you bringing my wife into it, right? That I need to punch you in your mouth for that. I don't need no money.
At least.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we need to fight. Like, so let me sensationalize my platform with that. You know what? Later for all of this, Tide and aerosol brand, you know what I'm saying? Let's fight. You know what I'm saying? Let's get a pay-per-view.
Call it a day. Call it a day.
Before Caitlin Clark came into the WNBA, she was very provocative in college. Like she would be getting her numbers and like taunting people, and like the whole flashing of the hand and the face and all that.
Yep. She was adversarial. Yeah. She was as adversarial as any of them.
Yeah.
Right. But they didn't. But they didn't do that until Angel Reese. Until Angel Reese got the spotlight in the championship and won that title, did that bubble over.
Yeah, but her team was.
We didn't care. We didn't care. Yeah, we didn't care. Caitlin Clark was given the wrestling sign. We didn't care. Right? Trump.
But the one thing you can't take from her, guys, and I'm gonna leave it alone after this. Bottom line is she could play ball. So she could have did all the aesthetics and all of this shit. You know, if you ain't that good, you ain't doing all that, guys. Seriously.
Right. But the Bishop's point, it's like we didn't care. We still didn't care. Like we didn't care about the Lisa Lobos and the Tarasis and all of the rest of them when they did the same, similar things. And not saying she can't play. She's a generational player. And I don't want to take nothing out of it. And as sports people, we should care more about that than, like the brother said, the next coming a Rodman, and her antics and their antics. And it should stay sports. It shouldn't be a racial thing. It shouldn't be something that we as podcasters and whatever, sports enthusiasts should be manipulating for the situation. We should be talking about the sports.
Right.
That's what it should come down to.
Exactly.
All right. With that being said, I don't know if I should even talk about this a little. Maybe I'll a little bit. I don't really care about this because this is really much ado about nothing. Again, the Tush push originated by the Philadelphia Eagles, which I really know how true that is, but
Tush push. Can I ask you a question?
What is it?
Yeah,
no Diddy now. Go ahead.
Yeah, what is the Tush Bush? What is that?
I knew he was going to say that.
That's a move that they do at the Diddy parties.
I'm saying, what? Like
it is grabbing somebody's butt live. I will say.
Is it? Okay, it's not a pat. It's an actual.
It's a push. It's actually grabbing his ass or his backside. It could be his ass. It could be his back, and just pushing him forward for a first down or a touchdown.
Right.
But it's just it's like if we at the one and I push you into the end zone.
Pretty much.
That's it.
Oh, no, we did that. Nah, come on, man. Let's not. Well, we're not talking about.
It's a rugby play.
Yeah, exactly. It's a rugby play.
Yeah. Why are we talking about outlawing it now?
Right. We should be talking about the NBA lottery.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. That all of that. But no. I mean, are they actually talking about like disallowing? Like you can't push your teammate forward.
I'm going to tell you, the vaginified Green Bay Packers are the ones that objected the most, and they initiated this vote. You understand? Wow, have it banned or whatnot because they got beat. Because they got beat and said, "Oh, it's unfair because we got our asses whipped." You know what I'm saying? That's what came out of that.
Just the idea, just the idea of the play, the idea of having big, strong black men running over the defensive line of another team, and you can't do anything about it. That bothered the Green Bay Packers. It didn't bother any other team in the league except the Green Bay Packers. And it's like, well, if you don't like the play, stop it. Stop it.
That's what I was about to say. I well said. If stop the damn play, step up.
Defense. I honestly don't like the name, but
I hear you.
Right. The name is wicked. The name is wicked, right?
Yeah. Why can't we just call it the push?
I'm going. Right. How many plays would be effective by just residual contact from behind in progress in the play? If that's a lot.
And that's another thing. They were bringing up, it's not too safe and health wise. And I'm like, come on now, come on, stop your bullshit.
I don't think it's safety. It's just like you going like what if I'm coming from behind the play and my contact causes my running back forward for the first down, and then you disallow it because of that momentum, because that's the only way you could kind of legitimize outlawing that progressive that forward motion, right? Because it's a contact situation. How is you gonna legislate that? If I got my hands on his back, then that's a tush push, right? But then so if I not to outlaw it, all I gotta do is not have my hands here. I can push him this way. You complicating some real simple shit. That's bad. That's bad.
I think the tush push is fine. I think people are mad they didn't give it first. The Eagles got a quarterback that benches 600 pounds. And we've seen offensive linemen run behind running backs and push the pile forward for years. Who the running back was.
I'm gonna show my age real quick, not to cut you off real quick, Craig.
Yeah.
I do remember when you couldn't do that in the NFL. It was called impeding the runner. I just looked it up. You couldn't do that. I might be showing my age right now, but I had to Google it because I remember that. You could not help an offensive player could not help push an offensive player forward. He could not touch him. That was called impeding the runner. Yeah. So now if you want to reinvent the wheel and call it the tush push, and nobody's, they did away with that rule and we never really caught on to it, or I don't know. I don't know what happened, guys. I'm not that big of an I just remember that impeding the runner penalty where you would get penalized for pushing a player forward.
They stopped because a lineman came and tried to do it, and the runner went down, and he hit a safety of somebody in the head, and I don't know if it broke his neck. It damaged him, and that's why they said no. It's we can't do that no more. That was years ago too. That's why they stopped that rule. But that's when somebody's running at full speed. The reason why the goal line got away with it is because you're literally at zero. So it's just pushing. It's not the collision. They had 300-pound linemen chasing behind running backs, and literally cracking somebody that's not paying attention. That's why they cut it out. Somebody got hurt. I can't remember what game it was, but I remember that.
Okay. Well said.
And the crazy thing is, if it works so good, why can't anybody else do it?
But here, let me finish. I found the answer. In 2005, the NFL clarified that pushing was too difficult to legislate, and it became legal.
I did not just say that.
Now we have a new name for it.
That's 20 years ago.
Right. So it happened in 2005. Again, we're all showing our age. So that means prior to 2005, there was impeding the runner.
Right.
So you're right, Art. 20 years, and we're still talking about this shit. I don't get it. I don't get the NFL to begin with.
You boycott that shit. And I'm still. I mean, I love football, man, but I'm just like, how do you rule that? You know what I'm saying? How do you place judgment on that? If I can't touch my, that shit is great.
With that being said, let's get on to another topic. This is gonna be a barn burner. This is gonna be a barn burner right here. This is it. This is the beginning.
I'm coming back to the camera. Go ahead.
So, my man, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP. I see Craig is shaking his fists. I guess that's approval. I know Dom might feel a certain type different way. So we have Bishop on the line as well. I can see a debate happening very soon. Congratulations to the young man. I'll just say that. Right. And I was mistaken because I had said something on our group text. I had mistakenly said that Joker they didn't want him to win 4 consecutive, and it's not 4 consecutive because I forgot about Embiid being voted MVP. Within around that.
Right.
What a waste of MVP.
Which one? Which one? Joel?
Yeah, Joel Embiid.
Yeah. I agree.
No, it wasn't a waste. It wasn't a waste.
Yes, it was.
I mean, category. You know what I'm saying? Statistically, no.
I'm just gonna say
maybe he should have won it, but if you look at that regular season, he dominated everything.
No, his regular season was monstrous.
Right, let's just be honest.
I agree on that.
Maybe we ought to add Craig into our group text. I don't know. Craig's not in our group text, is he?
Yeah, I don't think so. Because y'all don't want to hear the voice of reason. And I know. I want to say something real quick, and then I'm gonna stop. I want to say real quick. Dom tricked me and had me on the phone earlier, so he knows what my argument's gonna be. He's gonna try to pull a fast one.
No, I've been saying this.
No,
the thing is, Craig, I've been saying it. I've argued with these knuckleheads.
No, he argued with me.
Even before live don't air. Even before the vote came out. But I always look at, and I said it in the group chat.
Yes.
Joel Embiid and James Harden, they spent more money politicking to win the MVP than Kamala Harris spent running for president. They politic for this shit. Remember, come on. How many times did you hear? Guys, we've been on together for a long time.
Yes, we have.
We remember the Harden escapades with I should be the MVP. And then he got a contingent to follow him with this shit. And then he wins MVP. Joel Embiid, same thing. I should be MVP. And all of us, come on, man. This shit ain't coincidental, man. Come on, man.
Let me say something.
Go ahead, Craig. I'm done.
When Harden won the MVP, now let's keep in mind, it's a regular season award.
Yes.
He had probably top 2 or 3 best offensive performances of anybody to ever touch a basketball.
Like Joker.
So I know we judge Harden. He folds in the postseason and all that. We have to remain objective. That year he won MVP. He dominated in points, rebounds, and assists for the entire year.
Like Joker did.
No, but no.
Don't make me break it down.
Here we go.
But that's why you tripped into the conversation. I'm gonna tell you what I told you earlier, and then we'll see what everybody else says. But when last year SGA was the best player.
No, he wasn't.
The best team in the Western Conference, hence why they got the #1 seed and got robbed of the MVP.
I don't want to hear that.
Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., and Murray are all better than his second best player on his team.
Debatable.
It's debatable.
Though I heard your argument earlier. Numbers don't lie. For the last 2 years, this guy has put up not only great numbers, historical numbers. Historical numbers. Tell me right now, who was the last 7-footer to average a triple-double?
It doesn't matter. That's not a fair.
You're bringing up he had better numbers, and he was the better player. He wasn't.
Right.
The MVP is based on what you do as an individual. And again, I will say this. Let me finish, Craig.
Is the most valuable to your team.
Right. Okay. Most valuable to your team. So who was the last MVP that team had the best record? I'll give you a hint. He plays for Golden State.
Who, Curry?
Steph Curry.
Wow.
Yeah.
The year they won 73 games.
So, can I say something?
Yeah, please. I'm done. I argue with y'all all damn day.
Who's that broke it down from last year? Who said
me?
Was that Craig?
That was me. That was me.
The one who said SGA should have won it last year too.
Craig said it.
Okay. So what you're saying, what you're proposing is he was leading the league in scoring. His team had 18. The closest team, like the Nuggets were 18 games below OKC, and you saying, you know what? Forget those 18 games. Forget the number 1 seed. Forget all of that. We're just gonna concern ourselves. And he plays D. He plays on both ends. We're just gonna concern ourselves with the fact that this guy is a peripheral scorer, and that's it. That's all we're gonna talk about. That he scores.
But he's not.
No, that's not.
But he's not a peripheral scorer.
I'm talking about Joker.
Right, he's not just a scorer.
What you're saying is Joker should have won it again because he plays on one end of the ball and he's scoring and he's assisting and he's rebounding, but his team only won 50 games.
With a better
he was the fourth best team in the West.
But it's not a team award, guys. It's an individual award of what you do. Let me finish, Bishop, with what you do on your team. I get that part. But you can't, again, I'm going back. I forgot what year it is, 2017, maybe? The last time an MVP was from the best team in the league. So we can't use that argument. That's what I'm trying to say. So what do you go by? You go by what this individual did. And I love when somebody brings up defense. Did Shea Gilgeous-Alexander win Defensive Player of the Year? No.
He didn't. But they don't target him. When they play against them, when you play against Denver,
come on, guys. How many games do you actually watch Denver play?
No, he's second team. He's second team on defense.
I've watched Denver play. I watched Denver play, and how teams are beating Denver. How they figured out how to beat Denver is whoever Joker is guarding, go at him. That's why Lou Dort had the 12 points at the end of the game. One of those 3-point shots was in transition. But all the other points were against Joker because he doesn't play any defense. So and last year, when Minnesota beat them, what they figured out is make him have to guard somebody. That's why Cat and the forward, that's why the 6th man of the year, that's why they dominated because he can't guard anybody. So you trying to sell to me that defense doesn't matter, and just because he's scoring and passing the ball and rebounding, that's all we should look at.
Right. I don't say that. The NBA says that. So everything you're saying.
It's the NBA. It's the media.
No, everything you're saying, Bishop, I guess the years you're bringing up, we're going to skip over the year they won the championship.
No, I'm not skipping over the year they won the championship. No, absolutely not. They won the
championship. They didn't target him and go at him for what?
Because
for shits and giggles, and they happened to win the championship.
Nope, his team is a better team. And those guys stepped up. Jamal Murray, all of those guys stepped up and helped deliver a championship. It wasn't just him.
Don't forget what Jamal Murray did that year.
Yeah, I like how when Denver is losing, that everybody says, "Hey, Joker needs help." But when they're winning, they're like, "Oh, he's great. He's this, he's that." There were 3 games in that series, in this last series, that Joker shit the bed, and it was his teammates who delivered those W's for Denver. So when you say, "Oh, he doesn't have this and he doesn't have that," Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, even a tall kid with a bad shoulder, your boy, all of them were delivering. So and they didn't get credit. All the credit went to Joker. But when he was scoring 17 points, or when he was taking 9 shots, or when he fouled out in the 3rd quarter and they still winning games, it's like nobody is saying, "Oh, the supporting cast is doing what they're supposed to do." So you can't tell me, and this is the same thing the media is trying to sell us with Luka, but it's not going to work with Luka because there's too many guys his size. There are too many guys his size, and it's now crystal clear why Denver got rid of him. I mean, why Dallas got rid of him. It's crystal clear now. And it's like, how you going to pay somebody $60 million a year when they can't guard anybody? They can't guard anybody. He's been in the league how many years, and he still comes in out of shape. Out of shape.
And he can't put that Slovakian.
Right, but the defensive thing, remember something, guys. 2020, I forgot the year it was. When the Nuggets won the championship, that became the year after that is when the wheels started coming off. When they started trading and not re-signing their bench players. So they went strictly almost what the Knicks are doing today with just going with your starting five. So they depleted their bench. But again, I ask, we always do this in our debates about the NBA. We always go to the defensive end of the court. Nobody plays defense in the NBA.
No, that's not true.
There's only 2 or 3 teams.
That's not true.
Come on, man. Let me finish.
Not true.
There's only 2 or 3 teams.
That's not true. Why you think Denver's sitting at home now? Why you think they sitting at home?
Because they didn't have a good team. You can talk about the Murrays and the Porters. I bet you none of them averaged more than 15 points.
Who?
Murray.
Nobody on Denver. I will look it up. Keep talking.
Look it up. Murray definitely did.
All right, keep talking. Go ahead. I'll find it. Go ahead.
Here's the thing that's getting lost with this MVP conversation. It's not about stats and all this defense and stuff.
Murray averaged 20 points.
It's about, I know. It's about your value to your team. If you take SGA off of OKC and you take Jokic off of Denver will have Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, and Michael Porter Jr. step up. OKC is getting the first, second, and third pick in the draft. That's what defines it.
Why didn't they step up this year?
That's what defines it.
That's a poor argument, Craig. That's a very poor argument.
They still made the playoffs.
They still made
the playoffs. And
everybody makes the playoffs in the NBA.
I would argue if SGA
20 out of 30 teams make the damn playoff.
If SGA went to Denver, and Jokic went to OKC, Denver would be the #1 seed in the West.
No,
not
at all. Not at all.
So Craig,
that's crazy.
Houston would be the #1.
No, I agree with that.
Craig, I'm going to take it a step further. Before the first ball was even dropped, the media had determined who they wanted to be the MVP for the year.
Exactly.
Before the first ball dropped, before the first game, before the first referee toss-up, they had already decided that they wanted either Joker or Luka to win the MVP. And it's crazy.
And you know what SGA did?
No, I would agree with Luka, not Joker.
No.
Joker earned his MVPs.
And SGA went out there and did what he did last year, averaged over 30, and brought his team to a #1 seed, dominated all the best talent in the NBA, winning by 10 plus more points than anybody has ever done. Google that stat. That's what SGA gave them no choice but to not give it to the boys they wanted to have.
Exactly.
No, they didn't want them to have.
Bishop.
Yes,
Bishop.
They crowned him.
Bishop, you had brought up a point in saying that teams, they try to come up with a philosophy, a strategy to stop SGA, and he still comes
every
through.
game.
He still comes through
every game. His name
and Dom, when we talk about the Knicks, don't say Cat don't play defense. You stand sturdy with that defense. Don't talk about Cat not playing defense after what you said.
I'm gonna say that because it's a damn fact. The hell, you better stop smoking.
You said defense don't matter. SGA is a defender as well as averaging over 30.
He's a good defender. He's a good defender.
Right, he's a good defender. I'm not saying he's not. But
average defender.
Teams go above and beyond, just like y'all are saying with SGA. Teams go above and beyond to try to stop Luka, to stop Joker. And he still averaged a triple-double.
What they started doing was, we know we're not going to be able to stop him from scoring because he gets the ball and he has the ball in his hands and he's aggressive with the ball on offense. So it's going to be really hard for us to stop him because we don't have anybody of his size and we don't have anybody with his skill set to match that. So what we're going to do is we're going to make his big, slow ass play some defense. You got to guard somebody. You got to guard. And what Denver was doing, they were hiding him. They were putting him on the least suspected offensive player on the court. They were hiding him. Why is he guarding Lou Dort?
Like
Lou
the Knicks.
Lou Dort,
like the Knicks do.
Lou Dort was cooking him too.
Right. And then every single person that he guarded, clear it out. Clear it out. Make him have to play some D.
Then that's like saying Alexander didn't do nothing in the series. Craig, you brought up a very bad point, Craig, and we'll get to that later.
Which point?
Because I'll be damned if everything y'all are talking about with Joker, that's like saying if Karl Anthony Towns won the MVP tomorrow, we would give two shits about him playing defense.
I wouldn't. I gotta tell you that.
See, there we go. Thank you, Live.
Thank
you.
Give
my man the award.
Thank you, Live.
Give my man the award. I wouldn't care.
That's why I like Live. You're right, Live.
My next thing would have been like, yo, how many votes did Brunson get? Right?
What did he come in? Fourth or
about
fifth?
none of these dudes. I'm like, look, give my man Brunson.
Where he actually came. It might have been fourth or fifth.
It had to be third. I had to be third.
I don't think.
No, it was Alexander, Joker.
Well, in the MVP.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember,
it was Jay, Joker.
Yes, they come down to 3 finalists.
Yeah.
Right.
That award. You understand?
But they still count to like 6.
Yes, they do.
Because I think LeBron came in 4th or 5th. 5th maybe.
Oh my God! Why? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'm gonna look it up while y'all talk.
That's crazy. I mean, give it up for 40, man. 41.
Yeah. The third finalist was Giannis, actually.
Yeah. There you go.
Giannis was the third finalist.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
Yeah.
So where did Brunson come in?
Probably
I'm
6.
gonna find it. Hold on.
Probably 6.
Good. Giannis
No, I think. Hold on.
Take a look, Dom.
I am.
That's blasphemy.
Hey, man.
The winner was Alexander. Runner-up was Joker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Giannis.
Hold on.
I want to know what I want to see where he go next year.
Right. That's going to be very interesting.
He ain't going nowhere.
You don't think so? I think so.
Giannis, you know where Giannis is going? I told you before. Giannis is going to hell. He ain't going nowhere.
He's going where?
Okay, here we go. Here we go. SGA, Joker, Giannis, Tatum. That's the one. Tatum, Donovan Mitchell.
That's 5.
LeBron James, Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards, Steph Curry, Jalen Brunson.
Wow.
Jalen Brunson came in behind.
That's like 11th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sound like it. That sound like
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10.
10.
I thought he was in the top 10, but yeah, 10th. But you can't. How the hell did Cade Cunningham get more votes than him?
Same way they were saying he was going to beat us.
LeBron James, other than being 40, well, I guess LeBron tries to play defense because we know Brunson don't. And yeah, you're right. I don't see, other than Cade Cunningham and maybe LeBron, I think all the other guys ahead of him had a better year.
Cade Cunningham.
Right. No, I'm like Donovan Mitchell.
Cade Cunningham had a great year, but not like
Brunson. I mean, but when they look at it too, like I was saying, that MVP has to do with just supporting cast. And when they look at Brunson, you can't say he don't have OG, he don't have Bridges. Regardless of how you evaluate them as a talent, they're looking at him and saying, you got Mikal Bridges, you got OG, you got Bucky Hart, you got Tibbs, who's an overrated coach to me. You got all these things, and then you look at Cade, and you're like, he brought Detroit from the depths of you know what to the playoffs. That matters. That's my argument
without Jaden Ivory.
That's my argument with SGA. Like his second best player is Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren is not that good.
No.
And that's my argument. Then when you look at Jokic, you look at Aaron Gordon, you look at Jamal Murray, you look at Michael Porter Jr., who got hurt and had a bad playoff. But these are monsters he got. That matters when you look at MVP.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon to be
when Allen Iverson carried the Sixers to the finals, even though they lost in 5, you had to give it to him. He had Snow and people you can't even name.
Eric Snow.
And you have to,
Aaron McKee.
OKC is a system team, though. They have a system.
Okay, here's another example. When Shaq got robbed for the MVP, they gave it to Steve Nash because they looked at it and said, Steve Nash is doing unbelievable things with a team that wasn't supposed to be there. Shaq was the most dominating player that year, period. Steve Nash stole that MVP. But when we looked at it, they said he overachieved. He did more than what they thought. Because Jokic already won a chip with the same people that we're talking about, you got to do more than that. You can't be the 5th seed, and it just so happens the number 1 seed is leading scorer and dominated you all year. And then you get the MVP. I mean, they factor all that stuff in there.
Yeah. All right. No other player except SGA, and Joker got a first place vote.
That's crazy.
Let me say this too with Brunson, and that's my guy. We lost to every good team all year long. He ain't no damn MVP.
Yeah.
We lost to every team with a winning record. Punched us on the road and at home.
Well, no, not every team. The top 3 teams.
That's enough. That's enough of them.
Right.
That's enough.
Well, yeah, I'm not debating that, Greg. Don't get me wrong.
And consistently, and like every time we seen them. Like,
right, but then again, the one that we couldn't beat, we smoked in the playoffs.
So,
yeah, but it's a regular.
That turnaround being fair play, I don't know. I just think when we talk about the Knicks, guys, and when we do talk about, I'm still going to stick to my guns. I don't think the Knicks, with the roster they have, after 82 games, that we expected an NBA title. Because I go back to all the teams, matter of fact, some of them that y'all brought up. Joker, Murray, Porter, Giannis, Middleton, Drew Holiday, Brown, Tatum. The list goes on and on. Nobody has won back-to-back championships in the last 7 years. So that should tell you something, that what you see is consistency and teams that have been together. Indiana, for example, damn near everybody on Indiana's roster was on that roster when they beat the Knicks in 7 games last year. Is that a coincidence?
No.
Okay.
No. They've developed consistency, but only us Knicks fans, well, some of us, expect 82 games to be this magic potion and we're going to win a chip.
No,
I still think, guys, we're a year ahead of where we're supposed to be, and that's great. Don't get me wrong. We're a year ahead of where we're supposed to be. Next year is our telling year.
Yes.
I will say that.
It shouldn't even be next year. It should be this.
I'm with you on that, Yeah, I thought it was a 3-year window.
We got a good chance for the whole chip this year.
They need to start. I always say this, guys. And we could all say this. I know we ain't going to debate this. We finally got a front office that has not gotten hoodwinked, or shit on in any move they made.
Agreed.
My only content with is I don't think they utilize the vet minimum as well as they should. We pulled up a Shamet, a Cam. They're good players, don't get me wrong, but we could have did better in the vet minimum department.
I think that had to do with the time of each trade, right, and what we had to rock with. You know what I'm saying? Like we emptied the coffers with Bridges, and then we got Cat the last week of the damn camp, right? So by that time, there was a lot we couldn't do. I think we already had Cam, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
like before a lot of the moves.
Yeah.
Okay, you got him right. So I mean, well, to your point, it's just like we couldn't do. Like everybody was like in camp and got their rosters and we had these. I mean, like we got Precious the last week. He was the only one hanging out in the green room. You know what I'm saying?
There's always that time though, live, and guys, y'all notice that even after camp, there's those guys that are the vet minimums that we could back in the day, guys, we couldn't convince nobody to come to us on a vet minimum because we sucked. Let's just keep it a buck. We sucked. Craig wasn't going to come play for us with a vet minimum or a vet stadium because we suck. Yeah. But now we should be able to use that vet minimum because we are an attractive team. We have definitely a good starting 5.
Right.
So now is the time, like I said, I give these guys all the credit in the world for what they did and where they've gotten us. But I'm not going to get super high because we've had these conversations before. I'm like you are. I'm jumping the gun. I thought it was a 3-year plan. So
yeah, I was with you. you. But now, seeing how it shook out, so to speak.
It's now.
It's now.
It's now.
Now we're into. Oh shit! It was a 3-year plan, but hey, while we're here, and there goes the expectations, and then there goes the slander, and there goes. I just think they need, because guess what, guys? When you talk about these aprons and napkins and all this bullshit the NBA is coming up with, just remember, in 2 more years, we're paying Karl Anthony Towns $61.5 million.
Yeah.
That's a lot of aprons and napkins right there. So Jalen Brunson did us a solid by taking less so that we could get a Mikal Bridges, so that we could re-sign an Anunoby. But in 2 years, all that Jalen Brunson did goes under the water because we got to pay $61.5 million
right
to one player. That's steep.
Yeah,
that's steep, guys.
I believe that this offseason we can get all of that shit right.
So
I would hope so. Go ahead,
Bishop. So I've been telling you guys all season. You've been telling me I'm crazy. I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh well, yeah, maybe a little bit, but you guys have been shooting me down. I'm like, yo, this team is a talented team. It's not shocking to me if they play the way they're supposed to play. This team is a really tough out. Like,
you know what? You know what?
This team is a really tough out, and there's no reason why. And my thing was, we should be making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, which is what I said. And I thought either Boston or Cleveland was going to still be there. But now, since they're not,
right?
Why shouldn't we be going to the championship? We're certainly a better team than Indiana. We didn't show it last night.
Well,
I'm
exactly.
not. You know what? I'm not going, Bishop. I still believe that.
Here's the thing, though. I agree with you, Bishop. Trust me, I agree with you what you just said. But looking at it, when you're watching these games during the season against Boston, against Cleveland, against OKC, I mean, what more conclusion can you come to?
And
right.
Games were happening.
You know what I'm saying?
When those games were happening, and I was freaking like going back and forth, and Don was calling me the peanut gallery and saying, yo, Bishop is not.
No,
yo,
I called y'all
Bishop
the peanut gallery when y'all started complaining. I didn't say
Bishop is not, but I'm saying Bishop is not. Yo, what is he saying? This team has just got there, this and that. Yo, this is a team of veterans. This is not a team of like, yo, this is a team of good, solid veterans. And if they play the way they're supposed to play, it's going to be really tough to beat this team.
I agree. Remember, guys,
the blowout last night is evident. Like, we can't get that shit. We still ain't got it right.
In our little goofy text chat, I had the Knicks beating Boston in 6.
Yes,
I didn't know Tatum was going to get hurt. I had the Knicks winning in 6. Yes. The only thing that scares me with the Knicks, and I say this all the time, guys, not to say my brother Bishop is nuts, but I've never seen a team in NBA history that has to take their 2 best players out for defensive purposes. That blows my mind. And you know what? Let me finish, Bishop. It came back to haunt us last night when we didn't get Towns out the game. And they were setting these invisible picks, and he was, the Egg McMuffin came back out on him. Should I go out? No, don't go out and check him. Let's just ride the pick to the fucking bench and let him shoot. This guy's shooting threes all night. And we didn't decide to do the hacker Craig, the hacker R. We just kept letting them shoot, and nobody was going through the picks. Nobody was going out on these guys. They're just standing there watching this shit like it's target practice. Again, because we couldn't rotate Brunson and Towns out the game, like Bishop said, how they go after Joker, how they go after Doncic. Teams go after Brunson. They go after Towns.
Yo, how many did he
thing, guys?
Like how many did he? Was it 4 or 5 in a row?
5 or 4 out of 5. Yeah, they hit about 6.
So what was happening? What was happening was when Brunson was out of the game, the tempo of the game and the way the offense was running, it was running perfectly because they were eating up clock. They were getting good shot opportunities.
Yep.
The right people were getting the ball. Like OG was getting the ball where he could score. Cat was getting the ball where he could score. Bridges was connecting. Deuce was connecting, and Mitch was out there just being a monster on the boards. Exactly. And then as soon as Brunson came back in with 2 minutes and 45 seconds left, then he started with the I'm gonna hold the ball. I'm gonna be the one. I'm gonna be the one to close the game out in turnovers. Bad shots.
That's not. That's not the only thing that happened. Like to somebody's point, man. Like these motherfuckers was doing phantom fucking screens, and he was shooting over his teammates.
Yeah.
But the
Like, it was
thing
crazy. It was like,
is,
and not to say that that wasn't a viable thing to do. It's just that nobody reacted to it 4-5 times.
But to Bishop's point, not only did Brunson come and do the James Harden dribble, he had 7 turnovers in the game, and at least 3 or 4 of them came in the most opportune time as Indiana was coming back. And we just kept glossing over it. Now, remember, when we're doing all of this, going back and forth, here goes the situation we're in. We can't do offense for defense, so we got to leave Brunson and Towns out there. That became liability number 2, where we could have said, you know what, let's like Bishop said, we had something going. First of all, we went on a 10-0 run. So I think the zeal to do more, we were still eating up some of the clock, but we weren't giving it back as quick as we did as soon as he came. Matter of fact, let's just sum it up, and I'll let Bishop. Every mistake he made, every stupid-ass three-pointer him and Cat shot turned into a three-pointer by Indiana.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And it was stupid. It was stupid. Even when I was on the group text with you guys, it wasn't that. And I was saying, oh, man, Brunson got 5 fouls. But then I followed that up with, perhaps that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's a good thing.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying? Because, go ahead, Bishop.
But I'm saying the crazy part is he was getting fouls on, what's the little white kid's name?
Connolly.
No, McConnell. TJ McConnell was drawing fouls on Brunson. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, he gave him the 5th. Yeah.
It's like, dude. And I'm like, okay, why did he even need to come back in the game? Because the game was closed. The door was closed.
He wanted to be a hero.
He wanted to be the one to close the game out and do the post-game interview. Because at that point, Cat had like 35 points. Cat had like 35 points. And he had 30 points, but he was on the bench. So now you finished the game with 40. What did he finish with? 43?
Yeah.
43
with 5 assists.
We lose the game. But you scored the most points.
Crazy.
And he had those 5 assists in the third quarter.
Right. Sounds like Carmelo Anthony.
Right. Yeah, but I will say this, guys, in Brunson's defense, we got to pump our brakes just a little bit. He has carried us in many fourth quarters.
No question.
But last night should have been the time to piggyback off of Bishop. Last night could have been the time to say, you know what, guys, I really don't have it. We're up fucking 14 points with 2 minutes left.
Right.
I really don't have it. So let me
sit my ass down.
That the other guy was feeding when I wasn't in the game.
But like Steve Azul
guys, we missed 12 foul shots. We had 17 turnovers. It was an accumulation of things last night. And a lot of them happened in that 2 minute, and what did Bishop say? 2 minutes and 45 seconds. A lot of everything that we're talking about went totally. Look what happened. Anunoby misses a foul shot, so we're not up 3, we're up 2. Towns misses a foul shot, we're not up 3, we're up 2. And I will say this, because you saw Anunoby, when they replayed that foul by Miles Turner, Siakam, they was looking at him hitting the ball and then his arm. But before he did that, and Anunoby
pushed him.
He said he pushed me. And he did. If you look at it, before he went up with his hand, he pushed them, and then he went up and got some of the ball. So that was a foul. That was a blown call, whatever the case may be. But the foul shots, guys, they just ate us up. And the foul shots we missed, and when we missed them, was like, this shit couldn't have been written any worse. Serious. Yeah, if Towns or Anunoby hit that 3, we could play foul him until the cows come home.
But
because
you didn't have to do that,
from the line.
You didn't have to do that. It was 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So what that means is that's 4 possessions for each team, the most. 4 possessions.
Not with Indiana, not the way they get up and down the court.
Because you can slow the game down. You can slow the game down and eat up, and then
that's what Brunson did, though. Brunson, he was not running like he wasn't.
He ate up the clock, but he didn't do nothing when the clock went down. No. But all I'm saying, Bishop, is if they hit those foul shots, we're playing foul until the cows come home, because you're not going to be able to shoot those threes that you're shooting, because you're down 3. So we're going to foul you. You're going to foul us, and we'll play the foul game. But we missed 12 foul shots, guys.
Right.
At home in front of your crowd. And 17 turnovers. Come on.
Can I ask a question? Where do you guys see us now? Like I had answered that question from my brother. Right.
Knicks and 6.
Okay.
No, they still got this. It's just like you saw, like what I was saying before is Cat and OG are the mismatches in this series. Now, Brunson is going to be able to score. He's going to be able to draw fouls. He's going to be that guy who slow walks us to, because his productivity is needed. So his 20 points or whatever, you don't have to shoot 22 shots to get those 20 points. Now you could shoot 10 to 12 shots and get those 22 points with the free throws and the fouls that you're going to be drawing, and then let Cat and let OG, and in some instances let Mikal Bridges, let them be the guys who give us offensive production, because Indiana has nobody to match up with them. Nobody.
Y'all do know last night was one of the first times in a while that our starting 5 did their over 100, over 102, and we lost the game.
Right. Hold on. Let me bring Dark into the conversation. Dark, are you there?
Hey, yo, what up, fam? Hey, yo, real quick. Guys, what's up, family Kings?
What's up?
I got to tell y'all, man, it's not really dark because I'm in the light right now.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Peace to my Kings. Peace to my brethren, yo. I just got free for a couple of minutes, so here's what I'm getting ready to do. I am so disruptive to intelligent sports convo that I'm going to shut the fuck up, and I just want to listen because you guys are kicking it. And I probably missed the part where I was going to shit all over the Knicks anyway. So I just want to listen.
We just got there.
I'm just here for the support. If there's anything I'm allowed to say, I certainly will. So you guys go ahead. Peace to all my Kings. Y'all look great. Good to be alive.
Peace. Let me say this. At some point, we got to start blaming Tibbs. And then we keep talking about this front office. What? Here we go. Wait, hold on. Go ahead. And then at some point, this outstanding front office that you keep saying that traded a ton of picks, way too many for Bridges, and traded for Cat, who is what Cat is. We want to blame Cat. We went and got him. So if this front office is such genius, what you go and get this dude for? First off, and then at Tibbs, you have to. I'm tired of people blaming coaches. Tibbs is an overrated coach that never won a championship, and we keep acting like he won a championship. He's never won a championship. He's done this everywhere that he's been, and then everybody says, "Oh yeah, he's so great. Let's keep him." He doesn't make adjustments. He doesn't manage his team to wage. If the coach is supposed to put players in a place to be successful, he should have pulled Brunson over and said, "Run my offense. Stop dribbling the air out the ball and stop trying to take over." But we want to sit here and put this on him. He needs to know how to sub. He needs to know he's supposed to be some defensive guru.
Fucking timeout.
He scored 130 some points. He doesn't use his timeouts. He doesn't use his challenges wisely. He doesn't do anything.
He had the best rating on challenges all year.
Well,
I don't care.
For this one, Dom.
We did this against Detroit.
Yes, sir.
Dom, for this one, I'm agreeing with you. This ain't on Tips.
No, can't
be. This one right here.
No.
Yeah, this game play, man. Y'all can't.
Here's the weird thing, Bishop, and I say this all the time. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? We're in the Eastern Conference Finals right now.
Right now.
If this guy was that bad, we wouldn't be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's not true.
And what Bishop and what Craig is saying about the draft picks, okay. So there's some junior high school kid in the Bronx, New York, that's not going to play for the Knicks in 8 years from now. Who gives a shit? Tell me what team is winning a chip doing it that way. Every team that has won a championship, even OKC, we're sitting here trying to say OKC is this organic juggernaut. Half their players came from somewhere else. Knock it off.
That's not true.
So what? There's some 13-year-old kid kicking a soccer ball that's not going to play for the Knicks. I don't give two shits because I don't get into the draft that well. The only time you get good in the draft is when your team sucks. We are not going to be that team for the next 5 to 6 years. So that draft pick means jack diddly shit. It might help a Utah. It might help another team, but it ain't going to help us. I'm just saying, guys, if you're stuck on those picks, God bless you. We got a solid NBA player. And again, some 13-year-old kid is going to cry for the next 10 years because he ain't playing for the Knicks. Kick rocks, kids. Suck it up. It's called life. Move on.
Yo, Dom, I got a music attorney, but will you be my sub attorney, bro?
Yo, I love Moody, man. Where's he
I need Dom to represent.
See, the
God
problem
damn it,
I'm
man.
just saying, who cares about them picks?
The problem with that argument is that I never said we was going to use those picks to draft players. There's going to be a guy like Greek Freak. There's going to be several others that teams are going to trade for. The pick isn't, I'm going to pick the 13-year-old in 10 years. The pick is an asset and a resource. And good organizations don't mismanage their assets. So when you talk about teams having grown, to the pack through the draft, the OKC made it to the finals with Westbrook, Harden,
years ago.
Ibaka. They drafted them. Golden State made it to Golden State won chips with guys they drafted. Klay Thompson.
Okay, stop. Don't bring that up because I'm gonna have to go back in the archives again.
Hold on. Curry.
Hold on now.
What you said was half of them are not homegrown. That argument is false. A lot of great teams are homegrown and they may add one other player. You know how they add that one other player? You know how they add that one other player? Through the draft picks that you're talking about.
No, that ain't what Golden State did.
That we gave up for Mikal Bridges. All I'm saying is if you're gonna talk about a front office being legitimate, you have to critique all of their decisions and not only how they affect us now, but in the future. I'm happy with Mikal Bridges. Why they gave OG all that money when they're both
right? I will say that, Craig. We had that conversation.
So why you did that when they're both kind of the same player, and you could have used that money and that resource on somebody else that could have made this team a lot better.
I'm getting ready to make Moody throw up.
Even if it was from depth.
Oh man!
Everybody's talking about next year. Everybody's talking about next year. We might be good. But if you think OG is going to play 60-plus games next year with the history of injuries that he's had, there is no tomorrow when you're trying to win a championship. You don't put nothing off. You take advantage of what is here and right now. And this is the here and now. I don't have faith that OG is going to make it through the season next year. We need to win it today, now.
The problem with your argument,
but I'm saying there's no way that you can't say it's not on Tibbs when we had a more than serviceable lead with 2 minutes and 43 seconds on the clock, and he doesn't make any adjustments to keep that lead, and we lose this game.
The problem with that argument,
the problem get out their own way. But the problem brought up a good point. You brought up a good point, Craig, which I think is a little off tilt. When you talk about, I love when people bring up the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors won their first championship against an injured Cleveland Cavaliers team. That same Cleveland Cavalier team came back and beat their ass the next year. What did they do? They ran in the parking lot, got on the bat phone. Hey, Kevin Durant, you think you want to play for us? So tell me about that homegrown shit. You got your ass waxed. You probably should have lost the first two championships.
That argument doesn't count because you bring up LeBron James' losses, but that loss he lost.
I didn't bring up his loss. I brought up the team was decimated.
People in general bring up the fact that LeBron James lost in the finals and don't add any context to it. The point is that the Golden State Warriors, from their homegrown talent, were good enough to make it to the finals.
Right, of course, yeah.
So you can
you won 73 games and lost in the finals.
I clarified the
and then you ran and got Durant.
Those down the road could be very valuable assets, and good organizations and good people in general. Grown men don't mismanage their assets.
So
draft picks are assets.
When you say
grown men don't miss 12 foul shots either.
When you made that point, but I'm saying when you made that point about Mikal Bridges. So Mikal Bridges is a underutilized asset. So it's not that this dude is not capable. He's not. It's not that he's not capable of performing. Mikal Bridges is underutilized. Last year with the Brooklyn Nets, and I'm not saying that he would score 30 points a game. Nope, I'm not saying he would score 30 points a game. What I'm saying is that 30 points should be translatable with his game to about a 20-point average.
He was close, 18.5.
And every single night he should be able to do that with his eyes closed. There's
not
some
on the
nights,
Knicks.
But I'm saying there's some nights that he's got 6 points. There's some nights where he's only got like 6 shots for the game. There's some nights that he's only got 5 shots for the game.
And there's some nights he can't hit the side of the fucking backboard. But hey,
no, I'm saying it's what what I'm trying to say is the value of that player, and the draft picks that you're talking about, the future considerations. I'm more inclined to take this asset that I have right here that I know what they can give me and utilize that to the fullest of my ability, which I can agree with you on that the coach hasn't facilitated that. He hasn't facilitated that.
Right.
But what I'm in defense of Tibbs, I got to tell you, in that Boston series, he made some adjustments that I didn't think that he would be making.
Wow.
In that Boston series.
Wow. I agree. I agree with that.
I'll just say this. How many of your third and fourth options are averaging 18 points?
I'm saying every single night, he should be doing that. And on some nights,
that's why it's called an average, Bishop. That's what he averaged doing all year. But my question is, how many teams have a third and fourth option and their player, those 3 and 4 options, are averaging 18 points? Shooting 40-something% and 30-something% from 3-point line.
Obviously. Not a lot.
Not probably at all. Again, guys, we can sit and we can talk about the coach. We could talk whatever. But we have a team with the starting 5 who average more points per game than any team in the NBA. Now,
getting more minutes.
We want to sit here and say Tibbs don't play the bench. Come on, guys, let's peek down at that bench. And let's really look down the end of the bench and say, okay, who we putting in? When you just say Miles McBride and I'll shut up. Mitchell Robinson, yes, he's gonna, but you don't look that far down the bench on the Knicks, fellas. Come on,
no, you don't.
Fans.
You're gonna have
7 people. 7 people.
Yeah, 7, 8, maybe 8.
Maybe 8.
Eight guys. 8 guys consistently that you should have in the rotation, and I'm okay with that. The thing that the problem that I had with Tibbs,
Tibbs is 6.5.
Is okay. How do you or when do you acclimate these bench players to give them, hey, this is what your role is going to be regardless. These are the minutes that you're going to get regardless. How do you acclimate those guys in if you got Josh Hart playing 45 minutes a game?
Right.
And I love Josh Hart, but there's times when it's like we lost a lot of games this season because Josh Hart is a liability.
Bonehead.
He's a liability offensively. I don't care about the fouls or whatever. On offense, he's a liability. Now, he's been off and on. The only thing that I was saying is the things that Josh Hart brings, rebounding, defense, and judicious uses of his fouls, Precious Achiuwa is capable of doing that same thing. He's capable of spelling him that same way. Now,
I don't have a lot of faith.
It's impressive. It's impressive because Josh Hart is doing it and he's 6'4". But Precious Achiuwa is 6'8" with a 7'2" wingspan that can guard 1 through 5.
I agree that Precious needed way more touches.
I fail to believe, guys, that
I'm not even saying touches. I'm saying playing time.
I fail to believe that a professional coach.
I
fail to believe that a professional coach running an organization is going to do things that are detrimental to the team instead of a positive of a team. And I always say this, guys, we're not privy to how these guys act in practice, what they do in film play, whatever. So to me, there's always a reason why Moody is only playing 8 minutes. And there's a reason Josh Hart is playing 36 minutes. Call it what you want. I just think it balances out because, again, guys, and I'm a Knicks fan, when I look down the end of the Knicks bench and I get past Mitch and Deuce, I'm like, oh, shit. Who, again, to Bishop's point, maybe give Achiuwa. I just don't think he's that good, first of all. But even that being said,
for what you need him to do, it's the same thing that Josh Hart is doing.
But now's a bad argument with that, Bishop, because now we got Mitch coming off the bench that's basically doing that. Because, again, Precious Achiuwa is not an offensive threat, just like Mitchell Robinson. But Mitch brings rebounding, block shots. And I'll tell you what, guys, as much as we all know, and Live knows even better, because me and Live have discussed this for years, that I was never a Mitchell Robinson guy.
Yeah,
the way I see Mitchell Robinson running out on the perimeter now, think about that play when Bridges blocked Tatum's shot. He don't block that shot if Mitchell Robinson don't stay in his pants till he shot that shot, because it gave Bridges time to get over there. We don't got many guys that are going to do that, man. If that was Tatum, if that was Towns trying to run after Tatum, that shot goes in, Knicks lose. Period. End the conversation. But Mitchell Robinson made him dance so long that Mikal Bridges came out of nowhere and swatted his shit and threw the ball down court. That don't happen with Towns. That don't happen with Brunson, and it might not even happen with Achua. I never thought Mitch's footwork would ever be like this. That was his thorn in his side. He could not check the perimeter. He had 2 left feet trying to check the perimeter. But what I've been seeing him do in this year's playoffs, shit, I'm sorry, guys.
He lost a lot of weight, man.
I take back everything bad I said about him live.
I dig it. I be like, we all got to, really, man. I was ready to trade him for a bag of bonds on
4 years ago.
No, he's gotten much stronger because you see him like moving guys out of the way, rooting guys out of the position to get to the rebounding position.
And seen what he did to that cat Thomas last night?
Yeah. But before we start singing the praises to Mitch Robinson, it was him that flared out to the 3-point line and
let Obi Toppin off.
Obi Toppin drive to the basket and get it.
He had the hiccup.
Bonehead. That was a bonehead play. Yeah.
Right. But all in all, guys, come on, man. I'll be the first to give me that apology form. I'm signing that shit right now, and I ain't saying nothing again.
I mean, dog, it's the same thing with the y'all gotta forgive me, man, for not thinking that the Knicks was gonna come out of that Celtics series, man. I didn't. I'm a diehard, and the only place I might have said that was here, and someplace else, because I'm not gonna lie to some of the most intelligent cats I talk to, but bonehead cats. Look, Knicks and 6. We gonna beat the Celtics. I didn't think we was gonna beat the Celtics.
The reason I thought we was gonna beat the Celtics, guys, and I said this in the beginning of the year. Remember, I thought the Knicks getting Anunoby, re-signing Anunoby, and getting Bridges was supposed to be our kryptonite against Tatum and Brown. Now it didn't pan out in the regular season.
Right.
But it sure as hell panned out in the championship. Now, again, Towns was supposed to be the offset of Porzingis. Well, Porzingis was sick. He didn't play. Whatever. But Anunoby and Bridges did what I thought the Knicks brought them in to do. And we actually should have won that series in 5 games. But we won it in 6. And I had the Knicks in 6 because all I kept thinking of, this shit got to come to fruition, man. We didn't do this for nothing. I don't care what people said about Boston. Y'all hit pay dirt one time, and y'all 2 players that have been together for 6-7 years, and y'all won 1 chip. And you played who? Dallas? Who did they win for their championship? Dallas?
Yeah.
Tell me one person on this line.
Can I say one thing about coaching, fellas?
Yes, sir.
By the way, for the last 10 minutes, I was talking, but apparently my earbuds don't work. Fuck Apple. I mean, I'm going to keep Apple.
Come on, man.
That's why
I'm going to keep Apple. Apple is that's my people's right there. And I got stock in Apple, so get stock in Apple. Yo, but listen, with the only thing I want to go back to now, I feel so crazy because I'm coming because I didn't understand that we weren't communicating. Yo, listen, I think that in a game like last night, everybody has made such great valid points, and I think that at the end of the day, I don't know who doesn't put the onus of the blame on a coach. And I'm just going to tell you why.
Right.
Ultimately, in any sport, a coach is the boss. They say that a point guard is the coach on the floor. And we know that the coach on the side, he runs things. I was talking to my brother one time, and we were talking about the NBA playoffs. And I said that I think there's a thing called translucent coaching. And he was like, what the what is, and I said, nah,
Right,
it's
right,
like,
right.
it's like when you look at like Phil Jackson and what Steve Kerr learned from Phil Jackson. When you look at these coaches, even when their teams are in dire, these coaches seem to just let them work it out. But the thing about translucency is that you see through it, but it's actually something going on behind it. And I think that sometimes what a lot of coaches try, when I looked at that game and I saw the last 2 minutes of the game, the reason I have to put it on the coach, and typically I wouldn't, but bro, you in charge. In the last 2 minutes of the game, it seemed to me that what he was doing is like a Chicago Bulls, Phil Jackson. They struggling, games on the line. Let them work it out. Work it out, guys. You can work it out. And then, like with the Golden State Warriors, oh, we're gonna come out in the third quarter. We're gonna bust their ass. Steve Kerr and his ass. He's kind of like crossing his arms, like Phil. I call that translucent. Now, maybe you all don't agree with that, and that's fine. But I think that last night, I think that on behalf of the coach, I think that there was a portion where he was trying to let them work it out at the wrong time.
Yeah,
That is not the time to be a translucent coach in my term. It's the time to be Dean Smith. It's the time to be Bobby Knight.
I would give that argument a thumbs up, Moody, if what I saw didn't happen.
I give
it. You had 17 turnovers. Your star threw the ball away at least 3-4 times down the stretch. You missed, like I said, you missed 2 very crucial foul shots. If Anunoby hits the foul shot and Towns hits the foul shot, we go up 3. And we got a second chance. Anunoby missed. We stood up 2. Towns missed. We're still up 2. Either one of them hit one shot. We're up 3. We're playing. I'm fouling you till the cows come home. I can't blame the coach for that.
I don't blame the coach
for Jalen Brunson throwing the ball away 3 times, trying to play Superman. There's certain things, guys.
Okay, so let me ask you, Dom. So when they were going through this crisis, because we have to call that a crisis. I mean, hell, I'm New York City, man. I got Knicks shirts, I got Nets shirts. Listen, I love sports.
Shame on you.
I know, but listen, I got Mets shirts, I got Yankee shirts. I'm
double shame on you. I'm gonna get to the Mets before we go. Go ahead,
I'm one of them guys. You should see me in Georgia, because they'll be like, "Are you one or the other?" I was like, "Well, are you inbred or natural breed?" Like, we all got options, right? Like, whatever. So here's what I want to ask you: when all of the crises was going on, how many timeouts did the Knicks have that the coach?
He actually used 2 of them because he ended up with 1 at the end. But
at the end, he had 1. So
right.
I've been a competitive fighter for over 20 years. I'm retired from that now. And one thing I know, when somebody used to rock my knot, I used to spit the fucking mouthpiece out. It ain't because it fell out my mouth. It's because the motherfucker rocked me so hard. I was like, yo, I don't know if I'm married, single, straight, gay. I don't know what the hell I am right now. So in order to stop the time, let me spit this shit out of my mouth to stop the fucking bleeding, because right now, all I see is Black Jesus. So I don't even recognize where I'm at or where I am. Now, my point is, in a game like that, no coach, I'm not taking anything away from Tibbs. He is a great coach, in my opinion. But in a game like that, that buzzer does not sound with a timeout left.
They didn't have any at the end of the game.
No, I'm saying.
Okay, all right. So I missed that portion. So okay,
he used all his timeouts.
But I'm saying part of the issue was, and I've been a Tibbs critic all season, as everybody here knows. Part of what I respect is
all y'all have except me.
The game was in hand.
Yep.
And what the coach did was he put his closer in the game because his closer would bring the game home.
Right.
And what his closer had a different agenda. So his closer did not say, "Hey, let us finish this out. Let us get this W and let us move on to the next game." That's not the mindset that the closer had. The mindset that the closer had was, I need to score more points because the Cats got 35. I need to get more points because I've been sitting on the bench for a good portion of this fourth quarter. I need to get these buckets. So that's
the
mentality that he came in there with, and that's not Tibbs' fault. That's your closer's fault because Brunson has been closing out games this whole season. So coach has the utmost confidence that his closer is going to come into the game and finish it out. Now, what I do have a problem with is like Deuce McBride was out there and he was running the show pretty effectively. Now you're going to need Deuce McBride further down the line because Brunson may get in foul trouble. So why not give Deuce McBride the confidence so that further down the series, if you need him, he's able to come out there and deal with the pressure and perform and run the offense and get the ball where it needs to go. That would have been the perfect time for Tibbs to be like, okay, Brunson, we got this. We need you to rest up for game 2, which is night after next. Be easy. Be easy. We don't want you to go out here, twist ankle, roll an ankle, this and that.
Right. Hold on.
That's still
okay. Let me tell you why that point is so valid. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Let me tell you why that point is so valid. We're looking at it from everybody here play ball, yes, in one way or the other. Right. Okay. We're looking at it from, we sit on the couch and we vote. We know the game. We don't know that level of the game, but we watch it enough to understand it. And what happens is, I don't think a lot of times, and I'm including myself in this, I don't think a lot of times we look at the big picture. I think the problem with professional sports, there is a political aspect between everything that happens. Because see, we're talking X and O's. Because that's what sports is really supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about win or lose, defense and offense. Every sport has one. And so, but what I think also happens is we miss, what do they say? They're going to bash Tibbs if he loses. Remember, guys, I happen to call it translucent because that sounds like a moment to me. Like if you're going to let your closer back in, your closer comes in and has a fucking Steph Curry wet dream, and he does whatever he does. Okay. Now, in the real world where we all come from an amateur level, I think that Coach would have said, I had the pleasure of playing for Mr. Carl Screen, like in amateur leagues, Carlton Screen's father. And I had the absolute pleasure of a coach and I was nice. And but I was a hardhead and a knucklehead. And I had the absolute pleasure of me cooking in a game and doing one thing. And he would say, hey, yo, Q. They used to call me Quan. Well, they still call me Quan. Come here. I say, what's up, coach? I'm cooking. He's like, yeah, cook on the bench, bitch. That's not what I told you to do. Now, see, Coach Screen, that's what he did in the NBA. It is not as simple as Coach Tibbs saying, bruh, timeout, last one. I don't know if we got it, but let me relay a message to this motherfucker or something. Yo, son, don't do, because if he does that, the media will say the next day, if you keep him in the game, they're going to say he shouldn't have had the closer. If you yank him, Phil Jackson ain't never yanked Mike. Steve Kerr ain't never yanked Curry. So at the end of the day, I think that from my perspective, let me just speak for myself. Because thank you. Like, guys, y'all just kind of gave me a little more insight. From me sitting here on my couch watching the game last night, I'm only thinking about X and O's. I'm not thinking about the repercussions of pulling my star because he's fucking up. I'm not thinking of everything that goes on. I'm not thinking of my contract. I'm not thinking of everything that Knicks management is going to go. I'm not thinking of that. And we're only thinking of sports because we're sports fans. Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
I don't think we realized how fast the wheels were coming off, Moody.
Right.
Because me as a fan, because you remember, guys, I normally don't type, I don't text, I don't do shit during the game. But these guys were going back and forth. I said, let me, because I was cocky as shit. Fuck Charles Barkley with his mouth. And you know what? When Halliburton shot that shot and I saw it bounce up in the air, I jumped up, get these motherfuckers out of here. And all of a sudden, I see them celebrating. I'm like, what happened? My wife's asking me, why are you yelling? Did they win? I'm like, I didn't know the ball went in.
Right.
But everything happened so fast. But again, me as a fan, all I could think about, guys, is as shitty as we played down the stretch, if we hit one of those foul shots, it changes the complexity of the last minute of the game. We're gonna play hack a fucking Moody until the cows come home. You shoot your foul shots, you foul us. We make our foul shots. Game over. Point blank.
Okay.
We couldn't do that.
I'm not too sure why we not talking about them 4 fucking threes.
Oh,
that we let rock.
Wide open threes.
So
wide open threes.
Who was guarding?
That's where we lost.
Who was guarding Neesmith? Josh Hart.
Right, bonehead. That's why I called him a bonehead.
He slipped one time.
He slipped on 4 of them. He slipped on 4 of them. He slipped on 4 of them.
No, I told you, go back and watch the tape. When they set that pick on Karl Anthony Towns, and he did that Egg McMuffin. Didn't try to move through the pick. He just stood there.
That was
again. I don't want to keep picking on Karl Anthony Towns, but he's. If you're expecting Karl Anthony Towns to make a stop, I have more faith in Josh Hart making a stop than Karl Anthony Towns.
He shouldn't have been put in that position, Dom. He shouldn't have been put in that position.
He had to. They set a pick. You go through the pick. Even if you don't stop the guy, Bishop, you get your hands up. You're 7-1.
But why was he put into that position?
Because they set a screen.
Because Brunson came into the game with a separate agenda, and that opened the door. The game was already closed. The game was already over. The door was closed. They were up by 14, and they were doing whatever they wanted to do on offense.
Not to cut you off, Bishop, but to Moody's point, it's a damned if you do, a damned if you don't. If he keeps them on the bench and they come back and win, then Bishop and Craig's going to be texting me saying Tibbs is a moron. He keeps them in and he blows the game. Well, you know what? He went with his best player. There's always that certain optic of
I'm defending
guys. Stop! I'm with y'all, man. Trust me.
I'm with y'all. I'm with y'all too. I'm just thinking he's thinking deeper than what we may be thinking.
I said it last night when y'all were texting. This loss is on him, Jalen Brunson. End the conversation.
Yes,
because he just didn't. But again, I feel bad saying that because without him, we're not where we are now.
You know what?
It's too easy to point a 5 or 6 points to just say Brunson, right? And I'm not saying he doesn't take some responsibility in that, but I think that shit need to be dished out evenly. Like you don't shoot 4 fucking threes on one motherfucker.
I get that.
I mean that. And like I said, I'm getting enlightened. I'm getting enlightened because I agree and disagree, but it's all giving me different perspectives. So you say Brunson is the fault for 4 fucking 4s and 4 threes in a row?
How did they get those opportunities? How did they get those opportunities?
I'm saying that's a collective.
The reason why they had. But I'm saying the reason why they had the opportunities
because they got the ball back without us scoring, guys.
Exactly. And why didn't we score? Because Brunson decided that he was how many times did he get trapped on the sideline? How many times did he get trapped on the sideline? And Indiana was disciplined enough not to foul him.
So Captain Clutch wasn't Captain Clutch, right? That's his.
No, he wasn't.
Right. Again, so that's his part. So what happens with on the defensive side? Because you're talking about offensive situation.
Again, to Bishop's point, and y'all know it pains me to agree with Bishop, but to Bishop's point, it don't get that way live because they don't get the ball back without us capitalizing on our end of the court.
We're up 14.
With 2:45 left.
We up 14. So again, I'm like, and I call Brunson Chuck Mangione, right? I call him Chuck Norris, Chuck Wagon. Right, I don't want to see him shoot that many times, especially with a 14-point lead. Right, but his fault is his fault. Right, you can't put 4 incredible fucking historical 4-point shots because of him.
No, we're not saying that live, but we gave them in layman's terms, we gave them that opportunity. If we don't score and they score, kudos. If we score and they score, we're still winning. We're still up. If we just again, let's skip over the foul shots I keep talking about. If we capitalize on 3 possessions down court, the game's over. But Brunson threw the ball away. Brunson took a chaotic 3 that he didn't need to take.
Did he miss a foul shot?
They go down and they score them 3-pointers you're talking about live.
Did he miss those foul shots?
It was a 6-point swing without us even scoring. Then we missed the foul shots and put the cherry on the cake.
It's too much blame on that. I understand. I understand what y'all saying completely. He has a very couple. He got a couple of fingers on the hand of blame.
2 minutes.
I get
45 seconds.
But again, it's not all on him.
You know what, guys? To sum this up real quick before Bishop, with 2 minutes and 45 seconds, guys, if we scored on 3 or 4 of our last possessions, we win that game.
No question.
With or without Brunson in the game.
No question.
But we didn't do it because, again, he
was in
turnovers.
The
game. We got uncalled for 3-point shots. You didn't even get to the point where you forced Indiana to have to foul us to get back in the game. They just capitalized off of every damn mistake we made, every missed shot we made. They made something out of that. Again, we scored 3 times. In 2 minutes left in that game, the shit is over. We don't even get to the point of Anunoby and Towns missing that foul shot. The game is over. We couldn't do that.
2 minutes.
But the ironic thing is, every time we didn't do it, they scored.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 45 seconds left. Game management. I coach. 2 minutes and 45 seconds left. That means they get the ball 4 times. We get the ball 4 times.
Right.
Even if we don't score, we are taking up our 24 seconds, which means that they're going to have to score 16 points in a minute and a half. In a minute and a half, they're going to have to score 16 points, which is literally the only thing we got to do is move our feet. And it's impossible because it's 24 seconds in the shot clock. Move your feet. Even if you make them use 16 of the 24 before they get a shot. But what we did was, for some reason, Brunson came in and he was on a mission to score the most points for the game so that he could do the post-game interview because Cat had 35 points. Cat was playing very efficiently. Cat was doing what he was supposed to do, and Brunson came in. He had 30 points. Cat was going to be the guy, the player of the game. And Brunson came in and said, hey, no, not on my watch. I'm going to have more points. Which he did.
Chuck Mangione.
Which he did.
Here's the thing about this. Here's the thing about what you just said, Bishop. And I felt like this for a while now. Again, without Brunson, we probably don't go to get
correct.
We don't win 50 games. We don't win 50.
I'll just put that out there. But again, I think I'll just call it hype and whatnot, that we made this guy captain of the team. He
deserves it.
Which he deserves. No, don't get me wrong. But we've heaped so much on him. And even despite those interviews or whatnot, where he seems like he's humble, and he really is. But at the same point, in the back of his head, he's got to be the man.
Right.
He's got to. It's an ego thing.
You can see that. You can see by the way the team run, like how many.
You got some fans saying he's better than Walt Frazier.
No.
Really? Are we that crazy now?
I had an argument with one cat said he was better than you, and I was like, "You went took us to 2 chips, my nigga. What are you talking about? Like
Clyde won us out 2 chips." Everybody will sit and praise Willis Reed from coming out the locker room, but they forget Walt Frazier had one of the greatest game 7s that day Willis Reed came out that damn locker room.
Right.
Let's not forget that. To me, it's only me, guys. I say this all the time. Walt Frazier is the greatest Knick. To me.
I agree.
We can debate it. You can pick who you want. But I always thought Walt Frazier, because we don't win those 2 chips without Walt Frazier.
No.
Sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. Okay.
Clyde had help when we got Earl Monroe. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
You know, but Clyde, without Clyde, we ain't winning those 2 rings. Point
Right.
blank. I don't give a shit.
Right.
And believe it or not, guys, we have 7 Hall of Famers on that 73 championship. No team in the NBA could say that. Not even the great Boston Celtics. We have 7 Hall of Famers.
Let me just say this before we break out. Let's hey man, it's been a hell of a show.
I know.
Let's get some stuff on what's gonna happen tomorrow night.
No, it's a blowout. Pause. It's a blowout. Yeah.
Or should I ask what are some keys for the Knicks?
If we play like we played yesterday, we win without the fourth quarter gaff.
Without that last 2 minutes.
Yeah. I don't think hit another 4 or 5 3-pointers and you don't.
That was my point. That is not happening again. That right there. Now I believe the pace you gave the Pacers the gas to play better. That I think they'll play better behind this, but I don't think the combination of Cat and Mitch and Brunson is going to allow that. Like just they don't have nothing for it. So.
Since we only have a couple of minutes left, I got to piss my boy Craig off. I told y'all in the beginning of the year that the Mets getting Soto will not change them being the 3rd best team in their division. And y'all went to bed. Y'all went to bed when Atlanta was in last place. And motherfuckers was like, oh, damn, shut up, Dominic. I'm telling you guys, I just got that feeling that they're still the 3rd best team in their own division. Sorry, Craig. You know I love you, man, but
it's
on that note, I'm gonna shut up. I just got a feeling that I don't think they're that good.
Craig rocking back and forth. He rocking back and forth. He rocking back and forth. You pissed him off, dog.
That's all right. When he calls me, I ain't gonna answer the phone.
It's 162 games in the baseball season. It's
exactly. And that's what I was thinking when Atlanta was in last place.
Trash. And I guess because the corner is about to come back, you think something's going to happen. We're going to make a trade and get a pitcher. We're going to be fine. Just like we were last year without Soto. So I ain't worried about that. And then
last year was lightning in a bottle.
NBA games are not won in the last 2 minutes of the game. They're won over the course of 48 minutes, like I've been saying, which is why I'm saying you cannot sit there and think that stuff didn't happen by accident. It happened because over the course of 48 minutes, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. So I mean, tomorrow I'm confident we're going to beat them. We're better than the Pacers.
Me too.
They got a little lucky, but luck is when skill meets opportunity. And if you don't prepare for that skill, that opportunity will arise where you'll get punched in the face. And that's what happened. And if we continue to do that, we're not winning the championship because we won't beat Minnesota or OKC. And if we're not careful, we won't even be there. So we better figure something out and make some adjustments and get it together.
On a serious note, we know we can't beat them up and down the court. So our best defense will be our offense. We got to learn somehow, some way to take some of that air out the ball and give them less possessions. We can't run up and down with them guys. That shit is not going to happen.
No, it's not gonna work.
We will be sucking wind, and we'll be down by 12 points.
I think that might have been part of what happened overnight. Yeah.
It probably did.
To Bishop's point, we did it for everything minus 2 minutes and 45 seconds. We were taking the air out the ball. They weren't running up and down. Remember, guys, it was 69-62 at halftime. Everybody was going batshit crazy. Oh, that's a lot of points. But we were winning. We were actually winning because when we took the air out the ball, again, it gives them less possessions. Don't get in a track meet with these guys.
Nah.
Well, we're getting blown out. Sorry to say it. We will get blown out.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So
well, lastly, I thought that I was being. Everybody is this. I mean, there's been a lot of great shows, but this one right here, because I was like, really, guys, on the way out the door, I said I'm gonna say some real ill abstract shit because, like, I'm Dark Man Moody, and I always say some wild shit, for the show, and but then. I was about to tell y'all that I was going to be super abstract and tell you what we'll be talking about maybe after the playoffs or whatever. When you're talking about Brunson coming in and when you're talking about I got to be the man and I got to be the man. This may not apply to this immediate playoffs, but I think that in basketball, period, I think we're going to have – there was another young man in the NBA, and initially he did not give a fuck about a team's win or loss. The only thing that he cared about was I got to beat. I'm going to shoot this motherfucker 4-on-1, 5-on-1. I'm going to chuck this ball up, big fella under the basket. I don't care. I'm going to chuck this up. And I wonder, has the NBA finally fallen to superstar syndrome? Because I was listening to you guys talk, and I started to wonder, is it really possible that the lead player from a team is thinking about his rep over the win? And I think that when all of these playoffs are done, and when we look at everything in the back, I wanted to ask you guys, but I realized time is fleeting. I'm looking at Anthony Edwards, and I'm wondering, is he hurt? I'm not quite sure what's going on with him, but I'm wondering. And I wonder salute him if he is, and he's not, he's not making excuses. But the whole thing is, have we fallen? Maybe after the season, maybe it would be a great thing, Angus, to just say, let's have this thing. Did the NBA fall? Because in my eye, when I see a lot of things, I see players that seem to care more about incentives and commercials and who's the man talk than the actual game. Maybe last night, just maybe. And I'm probably wrong.
But to that point, Rudy, you're not wrong, because guess who's promoting that? The NBA is promoting that. The NBA don't say the NBA don't say it's the Knicks and the Knicks and the Pacers. It's Jalen Brunson versus Tyrese Halliburton. The NBA promotes this, so they're actually putting more food in these guys' brains. But before I go, since Moody brought it up, to this day, my best show is that time y'all were picking on Bishop about the Yankees and the Mets, and I happened to come home. I happened to come home, and y'all was still talking. Moody, this shit went from them picking on Bishop thanking me. Somehow, some way, we went to the homeless crisis in New York City.
Jesus Christ,
vouchers and shit. To this day, that's the funniest but deepest show I think we had in years. Because Bishop was like, "These motherfuckers, they're trying to the Knicks, the Mets ain't did shit," and even R was like on. God bless Dave, I love him. They must have been on Bishop's ass with this Mets Yankees shit, and I was like, how did y'all get here? I mean, I'm not. I always say,
so Dom, let me say this, and then guys, then I am out, man. Rodney, thank you so much for another great show. Let me tell you guys. First of all, I don't allow any ITP slander of any. If I didn't like one of y'all, I would be down to slander the fuck out of you. But I love all my brothers, man, from a distance, and so I can't wait till we all link up. We are not going to sit here on the outro and slander the great Bishop, the sports guy. No. There will be no Bishop slander up in this bitch tonight. We on the way out.
And I don't think nobody goes at Bishop. Me and Bishop have that stupid
y'all too.
But
y'all two are special.
Here's the funny thing, Moody, when you say we should all link up. 1, 2, 3, Bishop, 4. 4 of us live in the South.
Right.
Damn Northerners don't want to come down and visit us, Moody. Come on. We can have a Knicks watch party right here in the South. But
we really could.
Ass Northerners.
Hey, and I like the grill. Y'all got to tell me where y'all at. I'm in Georgia, man. I'm in DeQ. I'm in Gwinnett County.
Okay.
Me and Bishop live in North Carolina.
I'm in South Carolina.
Lives in South Carolina.
That ain't far. Y'all got a place to stay. Y'all. Don't worry about that.
We got to get the Northerners, Booty, to say, you know what?
They don't like no fresh air.
They don't like that fresh air. Whatever.
They don't like that fresh air.
Hey, Rodney, next time you get off of work, when it's time for the brothers to hang in the South, I'm just warning you. If you get off of work and every step you take, if that shit go dun, 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 and then you like, what the fuck? And you keep walking, go dun, 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 If you hear Mission Impossible theme music, my God.
Oh, it came out today.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, we getting ready to dump you in that van and throw your ass on Spirit because I don't like paying for first class for people I don't have sex with. So I'm gonna throw you on Greyhound or something, and you coming to the South. And
I don't do Spirit, bro. I don't do
what's
Spirit.
weird?
Nah.
What's weird?
Right,
as much as me and Bishop, bitch. I told you all the story before. I happened to be in Charlotte one day, and my wife was in the mall. I said, "Let me call Bishop." Hey, Bishop, I made it to the mall. He said, "I'll be there in 10 minutes."
That's it.
He was there in 10 minutes.
That's it. Well, that's why we don't do slander. You can't slander Don, Rodney, Reggie. The brother. Okay, so we can't slander each other, of course. But like the whole thing is, guys. Like if y'all want to get it together, let's be smart. Like it don't even have to be this year. God gives us what we got.
It's got to be, Booty. We're getting old.
Yeah. God gives us what we got.
Me and all.
Hey, I'm gonna get up, but Dom, I appreciate your motivations in the morning. They're so special to me because I am a professional writer and stuff, and like they just mean a lot. And I do have some self-published books that I'm releasing. They're already done. It's just about me releasing them. And when we talk about the selfishness of athletes, one of the things I said, I'm gonna kind of chop it up and paraphrase it, but one thing that I touched on, it was just a book of idioms. It's just real quick. A coffee table book, 36 pages. And I said, professional athletes, society breeds their selfishness and then condemns it. And we have to remember, we build up gods. And then when they start acting godlike, we tear them down. But you can't be mad at what you built. If you build a house and you did it the wrong way, don't be mad at it because the fourth bedroom is so much smaller than the third. You was in charge of it.
But Moody, the crazy part about it is what drives me so crazy is Brunson knows how to play. He plays smart. So it's like when he had that episode, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Because this dude is really smart. He knows how to play. So if he didn't know better, then I'd be like, yo, well, we just got to work with him or whatever. But he knows better, and he just allowed himself to fall into that trap of, I got to be the one to score the most points. I have to be the one. And I'm like, dude, you didn't have to do any of that. You didn't have to do any of that. We still had the W.
Yeah, right.
But it's like now you got to deal with it. Now you got to deal with that. And it was on front and center for anybody who really understands basketball. Because again, like I played in college, you recognize things, and it was just like for that 2 minutes and 45 seconds when he got into that game, he had already purposed in his mind when he was sitting on a bench and he was watching Cat shine that I'm gonna come back in here and I'm gonna be the one to shine and I'm gonna be the one
right. And I think just like they had to tell Mr. Bean Bryant, hey, bruh, we get it. You got to be the highlight. You got to be. Guess what, Brunson? Guess what, Kobe? You got your fucking endorsements anyway, brother. It's time for the team. We get it. Right. This is the expectations that have been put on you. So what do you want them to do? I know that right now my family is not hostages to anything. Do you know if I was talking to one of you guys and they were like, yo, you ain't got to hurt nobody, but go to one of these guys' house and like rob their stereo, I would be in your state right now robbing your stereo. I'm not a thief. But the reason that I would do it is because I'm under duress. And I think that a lot of times when we do stuff, I think what it is that I really think this is going to, everybody, please just remember this. I think this is going to be a conversation at the end of the season and when this beautiful playoffs is over, is that we might be falling victim to marketing and checks. And we've been going there anyway.
Yep.
And so I think that we're going to see when the playoffs, who takes the big shot when everybody dumps on LeBron? He passes it at the wrong moment. Well, maybe he does. But maybe, I don't know, maybe he's afraid of the spotlight. Maybe LeBron has, I think, in the playoffs, the most game. Okay, that's a whole different conversation. But like a lot of people, if you don't take the big shot, if you don't put it all on your shoulders, and if we're foolish enough to think that these athletes, with all the money that they have at stake, with all the reputation they have at stake, with the thing of being traded if everything goes wrong. If we think that the athlete today, as opposed to Wilt, as opposed to these kind of guys that played, if all of us make more money than Wilt Chamberlain did, shit. And so at the end of the day, I think right now, if we don't understand as fans of the game, if we don't understand the logic of marketing, bills, finances, 5 kids by 4 baby mamas, all IG models that NBA guys like sharing, these guys, are, in my opinion, they are getting off the bench more than team. Some of them, some of the time, they are thinking about legacy over the loss that you're about to incur because you had to come in and show Nike, and you had to come in and show Hanes, and you had to come in and show everybody. I closed this out. I'm a commercial, goddammit. I'm a commercial. And I think we're going to find that out as time goes on. Gentlemen, great night.
Peace, brothers. Appreciate
Yeah.
Moody,
Thanks, fellas.
Tom, Bishop, Shamik, Ronan, live. Thank you, brothers. Appreciate you guys. God willing, have a great weekend and probably see you next week.
Absolutely, man. One love. Love you guys, man. Have a good day. Dom, send them things out. You be getting me up in the morning, bro.
Share, and subscribe.
Yeah, let's get it.